All right, so finally making some more progress on, at least as of now, what is called Tater Tot 2. Matt's been keeping this thing going because I've just been more beyond busy than ever with the baby, life, weddings, and friends. So it's been really good. Just been very busy for me. So Matt's been keeping motivated and keeping this thing going to be able to help get it built. So this has definitely been a community build. You can see the A20s mounted on there. He has the tires already at least in place. He put some 3-inch spacers off there. This is the EC carburetor 820 locker kit, so we're gonna have to cut this down and then make a cotter pin to be able to lock this wheel into place. It's already keyed, so that's gonna be a locked 820. The reason we end up really liking this frame is because it's actually came stock with an 820, so the gear shifter, everything's already set up for this. As you've seen earlier, this already has a custom clutch, everything there. We finally got a power plant on it, so we end up actually taking the one off of Bandit and putting it on here, and then more or less there's going to be kind of a surprise of what's going on Bandit in the future. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on this build. It's getting closer and closer. We're hoping to have a little fun day coming up, so I want to be able to have this up and running. We're hoping to get rid of the baby wheels in the front. As much as I really like them, they work great on our stock mowers, but for this big tire mower, it looks a little strange having that little 6-inch rim up there. But it works. I mean, it still gives it some ground clearance and at least has a good tread pattern to steer and everything with. But it's getting there. So we just got the motor put on. What's that? Yep. So as we speak, we are getting the motor mounted in, so that way we can start figuring out belt sizes and everything else. So this is going to be a stock 20-horse V-twin Briggs. We actually did a Gen 2 swap for the steering. We should have showed you earlier that we did that, but then Matt went ahead and welded up a plate here to mount a bearing to allow the steering shaft through, since this had a different steering shaft. So it's going to give it a really cool look and really stiffen things up. Just now next need to get a better seat for it and figure out what hood I'm going to put on it. So it's getting a lot closer to being a working and running mower ready to tear through some mud. All right, so motor's on. We've been following some other YouTubers and stuff, and we've been told that drilling some holes in the pulleys help keep the water and the mud out, help make the belt last longer, help for slippage, and when it's underwater, the water's somewhere to go. So I think, yeah, Cletus definitely, I know Mr. Studebaker, he definitely brought it up before. So we've been running that on the dog, and that's been working amazing. So we're going to take that and run that with this build as well. So we're doing 4-inch in the back, 6 in the front, and we'll see what she runs like that. This is not going to be to try to drag race or anything. Not saying she won't ever be, but for now, it's just going to be a fun mud mower with a locked 820 that anyone can drive, and something I can just go ripping through and have some fun with myself. So, all right, everyone, Travis, the mower's gone wild. Matt back there, because he gets most of the credit for she should be a running machine. We're about to give her first run. Matt came up with an idea to use Predator's old wheels. He actually cut out with the torch of some old crappy rims that we had, made hubs out of it, and bolted it on because that is a 4-bolt pattern for my Predator rear end. So we now have some decent little tires there in the front that will help just make it look a little, obviously, more mud-like. I got the pedal on. This is not going to be the color and everything. I'll reveal that later. I'm still in the middle of trying to figure out exactly what's going to be done to it, what it's going to be named. But hood latch is on. We have the 20-horse V-twin. Actually, as far as we know, it actually came stock with this mower to begin with. It's back in here. We got, as we showed earlier or through the videos, the custom clutch is all on. We do have to bend the pedal. We made our own spring tension all the way up to there. So the 820 is locked. We got everything cut. Matt made our own little C-clamp holder, more or less ground a round spot, put a washer, and put the seat clip on. And we cut down the stock because more or less it's cut to the length that you want. I think we use 3-inch spacers on each side. So kind of gives us a nice little wheelbase. I don't have it measured to know exactly what all was into it, or what all the specs are at this moment. But yeah, she's about ready to roll. He's getting the torch out. We're going to bend this into more stock position, make it more comfortable, and we're going to give her her first spin. We'll go give her a good run. So again, 820 posi, 6-speed as far as I know, 6 or 5-speed, I don't remember now, 6-speed. And then we got a brand new battery in it, but she's ready to roll. All right, so here I am. I'm with Blue on Black. That is the new name for it. It is coming together. We're actually going to be finishing the paint job today. It's going to be pretty much, I'm going to say baby brother or baby sister, whatever you want to say, to Predator. As in, it's not going to have as big of a motor. I think it's going to be damn near just as fast, or at least in the short run of it all. It might even be quite a bit faster in the drag. Got the rims painted. They're like a orange copper oxidized. I absolutely love them. I think they look pretty slick. And then we are going to tiger stripe this as well, and they're going to be black stripes, obviously, and that's where the name Blue on Black comes from. Matt actually helped me come up with the idea. I was thinking about painting it blue like it is. It's Ford blue, and I was going to name it Affordable. So that actually got thrown out the window, because having 2 mowers painted with tiger stripes is just, that's my thing. It's going to continue to be my thing, apparently. Predator's over there ready to go. We have a little event coming that's a private invitation only. Just keeping it really small, no drama, no nothing. So sorry if you did not get invited. Does not mean that you're not part of our friend group or anything else. I just tried keeping people more local, people that I know that I get along with, that everyone else will get along with, and keeping it really small and simple. But back to this build. So we do have some, let's see here. These end up being 18 by 9.5 by 8s in the front. I kind of explained it before, but we actually cut, or I should say Matt torched out the center of some old rims, some old 6-inch rims, drilled 4 holes in it, and more or less bolted it in to this, so that way I have my 4-bolt setup. So that is my new front hub, and that is done on both sides. What we did do for the steering is we actually took part donor motor or mower I got for 20 bucks, no motor or anything else on it. Took the Gen 2, we drilled a big old hole in, so that way we can actually get this in there, and we got Gen 2 steering on here. So if we follow that, that comes all the way up. And because this was originally with obviously not Gen 2 steering, we actually put Matt welded in a brace here. I bought the pillow block, and we got it all in there. I think it's about perfect on the height and everything. Obviously we don't have the sleeve or anything like the stock one, but it's still all stock mower parts on this thing. It has the 820 that this originally came with, that's now locked, EC carburetor. We already have that in the previous video. This is a 6 in the front, and actually going to a 4.5 pulley in the back. I just got to drill some holes in it. So this is going to be the 4.5. The 4 that I have, unfortunately, is not deep enough. So when I go to push this clutch in, it's allowing the belt to slip off the back. As long as I don't push in the clutch, it's fine. But I have a feeling as soon as it hits any water, it's going to more or less come off anyways. So I'm just going to take the risk and go 1/2 inch bigger. If it ends up being too slow, we'll go to a 7 in the front. With that custom clutch, I can put pretty much as big of a pulley as I want. The 20 horse seems to be running great. I've only got to go around the track one time. We end up having a fuel leak with this. Let's see if I can pop this off. I doubt I'm going to get to it very easily. So actually, let's see if I can, just so if anyone else ever has this issue. Sorry guys. So I'm going to zoom in here, try to see if I can get the focus in, and it does not appear to, oh man. I apologize about the video. I might even try to cut and edit this for you. So, here we go. This is gonna work. So what we had is I had somehow a hole right here, and it was allowing gas to come out. So every time it'd come splash, obviously this ain't even half full, and it was just spilling out gas. So we took a self-tapper and we put some really good sealant, more or less almost like roofing caulk, and ran it in there, let it set overnight with no gas in it, or more or less with it pitched up, and that seemed to seal up good. I have no, this thing's full of gas now, and I've had no leaking since. So I'm really, the rear here, I'm running 23 by 10 by 12, And these are just stock, regular, obviously, mower rims. I don't remember what ones these actually came off from. It might have been this mower, but it doesn't matter. It's just still that regular, the traditional 1-inch shaft or 1-inch steel solid axle. Sorry, I'm getting very confused there. There's too much kind of going on in my head. We did connect the foot throttle, so this is something I at least hooked up. One thing I did on this build, so the reason and the way I got that to work on this motor is I ran it up through right here, and I'm pulling right down on this, and that pulls down for the carburetor itself. So typically I like to hook right to the carburetor. We eliminated the governor, and with that we just got a heavy duty spring here pulled back on the throttle itself, so everything's working really good. The throttle response is, to me, seems really good for the limited run I got to do on this. I had electrical issues. I kept trying to everything stock. I don't know if I was having a safety switch issue or what it was, but what I ended up having to do is the key still turns on the carburetor to allow the solenoid to turn on and everything else, and then I use this to be more or less my key start position. So it's really simple. I always run this right to the coil, so that runs to the coil, then grounded on the other side. That's my tether for safety. I do got a new seat for this as well. That's in really good shape. I got off a deal that I bought 4 mowers for $180, and they delivered it. One of them sitting right over there, and then the 3 other are out back. Pretty much kind of parts. Maybe one of the dyno marks might end up turning into something. Hopefully one day they'll cut my grass. I just have not had time. I got no spark in it. But so that's kind of just a little bit of a rundown. Sorry, I'm gonna have to try to edit some of this down for you guys. There's a lot going on here. We did get this bent back some, you can see here. I didn't want to go too crazy with it, just the way the clutch was. Again, we built it all custom. Matt went ahead and you know, he made that whole clutch setup for me that's working awesome. Try to get a view of it down here for you guys so you can kind of see. So there's some welds in there and everything else that we welded right to the bracket. We got the spring going up to the front. This is an old belt. I'm going to be putting a new one on. Honestly, I grabbed one right off our shelf, and it ended up being the right size the first try. That'll probably never happen again. It's a 91, or actually no, it's a 90. So, but there's the clutch setup. I'll kind of push this in. You can see it brakes very well, and it already tried coming off in the front. So I am going to be putting a belt keeper on in the front. You can see some of the small holes we have in there for the pulley to help get out the mud and everything. I'm gonna have to clean that up, make sure we don't have them small little burrs in there. Then it's going to the rear, which again, the belt's not even on right this second, because I'm about to be putting on the 4.5 and get rid of them issues. We'll put some belt keepers on this and everything else. The rear brake is hooked up. Pretty much, again, this thing's almost completely stock. The steering, again, got some changes to it. So this is where it came to. We end up making shortened steering rod itself, made everything work to the original position, and it works beautifully. It's a little stiffer than normal, which honestly is way better, so that way it's not so jerky on you. These big tires seem to be tracking pretty well up front. And we'll get some footage of this thing racing on Saturday, and let alone going out trailing. So thanks for watching. I'm going to keep having some more and more posts on this thing. This is going to be around just like Predator. We'll see which one I like better and which one ends up getting more seat time. Probably be a combination of both. Alright, so Harley's out here. She's helping me. She has made the stencil and everything. She's running away so she can't be in the camera. Matt's pulling the garbage up for our fire and everything this Saturday. So we're making progress on the paint job. You can see, literally, we just stopped right in there. But it's coming along really nice. Again, the idea is I'm going to be painting blue on black here in the back. That's going to be the name of what was Tater Tot 2. The rims have been painted. Going to finish the hood here soon. Gonna paint Mower's Gone Wild, clear it all, and she's gonna be ready to roll on Saturday. Last thing that needs to be done is just bolting everything back up, putting the piece back on, putting the seat back on, and I believe this thing is pretty much turnkey at this point. So I'm so ready to get it out and going and getting some footage of it, let alone seeing this thing race around. All right, everyone, Travis Mower's gone wild. As you can see, she's painted, she's cleared. This should be exactly how it's going to look from now on. I got quite a few layers of clear on it. I'm really excited. Harley did a phenomenal job with the stencil again. I went through and did all the handwriting of Mower's Gone Wild, which is all hand stenciled. Actually, I shouldn't even say stenciled, it's all just free-handed. So I got Mower's Gone Wild there. Got all the stripes, and then she is named Black on Blue. So her theme song is going to be the 5-Finger Death Punch, Black on Blue. It's a little darker on this side. I don't got the greatest lighting, but Mower's Gone Wild's on that side as well. Everything's going to go back on it tomorrow. Haven't decided if I want to put the lens back in or leave it that way. I kind of like the look of the way it is. I really love the way that orange pops on that blue. It is a very slick looking. I'm loving the rims. I'm really glad I decided to go ahead and do that like copper oxidize on it. I think it's going to look really sharp. Ready to get the seat on it, see what she looks like tearing around the track. We'll get some cool photos out with the sun and everything. It's pretty messy in here, but again, that's what we got. I'll do some more breakdowns once everything's kind of back together, but just wanted to give a quick little run through of exactly what happened. I did do quite a bit of detail work. I did decide to paint inside the hood and everything as well. We did paint some of the running boards to kind of get it to match. I touched up the black around the tractor, but I left the garden tractor sticker. It's the only sticker I actually left. So this is my first garden tractor build. Predator over there knows that was not a garden tractor. The thing has so much reinforcement under it because they don't build them LT1000s very strong. It looks like a collect all that will be cleaned up, and again, we'll have some awesome photos. We're going to get these two together. But I'm really excited the way it turned out. Harley did a phenomenal job again with the stencil and just helping me get this thing painted, wrapped up, and being able to be completed today. So this thing will be completely dry tomorrow and cured. So that way the seats, everything can get bolted back up, and then I can give it a little test go to make sure everything is straightened and ready to go for Saturday. So appreciate you guys watching and cannot wait to show you guys seeing it move. Alright, so here she is in all her glory. She's all back together, seats back on. I'm just working on get a front pulley belt tensioner. It's the only thing I've noticed. If I push it in a little too much or hit a big bump, the belt's coming off. But other than that, man, she is just ripping. I'm ready to give her a test tomorrow, see what she does in the mud and everything. I think she's going to be a pretty good competitor. She's steering good. She's a lot of fun. I mean, at the end of the day, man, this thing is kicking ass. So I'm ready to see what it really does against other people and just how it handles on the track, reliability and everything else. It can be its first run ever since it's been built. So we will see how good we did with all the custom, more or less clutch and setup. Obviously still stock mower and transmission, but obviously steering, tires, pulley, brake system, everything on it is all custom. So it's a pretty simple build at the end of the day, just time, customization, fabrication, and just patience overall. So we'll see what she does. I'm gonna let him take a lap because he's gonna run it. I'm running Predator, so yeah. Go ahead. What? It's just a low cold. All right, so after our event that we just had, It was the first time we got the run blue on black. There should be some carnage of what happened. Michael was driving it, and the whole front end just buckled right in. We knew it was the weakest point. So what we ended up doing is we took a Cub Cadet front end, put it underneath. It does have the Carolina squat now. I don't love it and I don't hate it, so I'm kind of deciding what the hell I want to do. Part of me is thinking about possibly leaving it like that. George Redneck Tractors on YouTube used to have the Roper, now has a custom. He actually helped that night get this underneath it and got it all mocked up. The spindles still need to be reinforced. We need to lengthen the tie rod and lengthen the steering so it properly works, but it is in its current position. Just needs a little reinforcement, and she's already back up and ready to go. Other than it also did leak all its oil out because when the tire came up, it broke the pipe right out as well. So we're gonna have to try to easy out or something to get that out so we can make an actual plug to be able to do oil changes in the future as well. It's gonna be straight pipe, so it's gonna be a little louder. With this, it took up more room, so now we can't get the stock muffler in there. But there's enough length and everything in there that we should be able to get enough oxygen where we're not going to hurt any of the valves or anything else. So, but Michael said it drove like a Ray Baby. He said it drove really well. He was keeping up with the dog until it did end up stalling out on him at one time. But he ran it for a good, I think, 5 to 6 laps. So we'll see what ends up happening in the future of this. We're hopefully going to be getting this thing out trail riding with Predator and Dog soon, and get a lot more footage with this. It seems to be a build that's going to be around, holding up well, and we're really happy with it.